with up-to-date analysis, informed opinions, and distinct professionalism. That's why you love us. Adaba 88.9 FM, your go-to station.
It's midday. Good afternoon. Here is Global News, and I am Muninkola Ogidon in the news. 27 Rivers State House of Assembly lawmakers dump PDP for APC. Outrage as nationwide power blackouts hit Kenya. WHO calls for passage of humanitarian relief into Gaza.
This is the news.
27 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly have defected from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the All Progressives Congress (APC). A member of the Assembly, Enemi George, confirmed to newsmen that the 27 lawmakers were under the leadership of Martin Amaewhule. He said the decision was taken during their sitting on Monday morning. In October, the Assembly under Amaewhule had served an impeachment notice on the governor and removed Ayi as the House leader. However, some members of the Assembly loyal to Fubara immediately impeached Amaewhule and made Ayi the new speaker. The crisis in the 32-member Assembly had begun as a result of a rift between Fubara and his predecessor, Wike, who is now the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. President Bola Tinubu has charged members of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to remain committed to ensuring that democracy remains the only form of governance in the sub-region. Tinubu gave the charge at the opening ceremony of the 64th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of the Heads of States and Government, which is taking place in Abuja. He urged the leaders to fight for democracy and stand against unconstitutional change of government among member states. President Tinubu, however, emphasized the need to re-engage with countries under military rule to guarantee realistic and short transition plans that can deliver democracy and good governance. Kenyans have criticized the government over a nationwide power blackout that plunged the country into darkness late on Sunday. The outage is said to have disrupted several services, including the main airport in the capital, Nairobi, where 2 terminals were without power for several hours. While responding, Kenya Power and Transport Minister Kipchumba Murkomen said the outage may have been an act of sabotage. However, power had been restored to most of the country except for some parts of Nairobi and the coast region on Monday morning. The state-run power provider said they are working around the clock to restore normalcy to the remaining areas as soon as possible. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to meet with U.S. President Joe Biden today. The meeting comes as Biden attempts to rally support for a $106 billion military aid plan, mostly for Ukraine and Israel, which Republicans blocked last week after walking out of a classified briefing on Ukraine amid demands for border reforms. On Sunday, the White House said U.S. President Joe Biden had invited Zelensky to discuss the vital importance of continued U.S. support for Ukraine's defense and the urgent needs it faces. Zelensky is also expected to address U.S. senators on Tuesday morning. An aide for U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson said Zelensky would also hold a private meeting with Johnson, who has been trying to link Ukraine aid to immigration reforms at the U.S.'s southern border. You're on to Global News from Adaba 88.9 FM Akure and we're transmitting from Ilara Moki. After the break, WHO calls for passage of humanitarian relief into Gaza. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
The news on Adaba 88.9 FM.
Many thanks for staying tuned. For news update and live streaming, please visit our website www.adaba889.fm or download Adaba FM app on Google Play Store. You can be part of us on our social media platforms: www.facebook.com/AdabaFM 88.9 on Facebook, at Adaba 889FM on Instagram, and Adaba FM TV on YouTube. To provide us information, you can reach us via email, newsroom@adaba889.fm. And now to the rest of the news. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said dozens of Hamas fighters are laying down their weapons and handing themselves over. Hamas has denied the claims. However, Hamas issued a threat to Israel that not a single hostage will be allowed to leave Gaza alive unless it demands for a prisoner exchange are met. Some 110 hostages have been released in total, but a week-long truce under which dozens were freed ended last week, and since then, Israel has resumed its bombing of Gaza. The World Health Organization has called for immediate access to vital humanitarian aid and an end to the fighting in Gaza. The resolution calling for the immediate, sustained and unimpeded passage of humanitarian relief, including access of medical personnel, was adopted by consensus at the end of a special session of the WHO's Executive Board. It also called on all parties to fulfill their obligations under international law. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said the UN Health Agency resolution could be a starting point for further action. Meanwhile, the UN General Assembly is expected to vote as soon as Tuesday on a resolution for an immediate ceasefire after Egypt and Mauritania invoked Resolution 377 uniting for peace in the wake of the US veto. The Australian government has said it will have the migration intake within 2 years in a bid to fix the country's broken immigration system. The government's moves is aimed to slash the annual intake to 250,000 by June 2025. It said visa rules for international students and low-skilled workers will also be tightened under the new plan. Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill said the migration system had been left in tatters by the previous government. Ms. O'Neill said the new policies will attract more of the workers Australia needs and help reduce the risk of exploitation for those who live, work and study in the country. Reacting, opposition migration spokesman Dan Tehan said the government was too slow to adjust migration policies designed to help Australia recover from the pandemic. Argentina's new far-right president has vowed to launch a radical economic program. In his first speech after formally taking office, Javier Milei pledged to overhaul the South American nation's ailing economy. The populist outsider won a surprise election victory in November with radical pledges to overhaul the South American nation's ailing economy. Mr. Milei said he would undo decades of decadence with deep spending cuts designed to slash huge public debts and drive down inflation, which is now higher than 140%. And now to end global news, a recap of our top stories. We told you earlier that 27 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly have defected from PDP to the APC. Kenyans have criticized the government over the nationwide power blackout that plunged the country into darkness late on Sunday. And finally, the World Health Organization has called for immediate access to vital humanitarian aid and an end to the fighting in Gaza. And that ends Global News as edited by Adeyemi Lawal. I am Moni Kola Ogidon.